Okay, here we go. We're live. Hi, everyone. Hi, I am Dane Dormio. I am here with my good buddy, the martial philosopher, Andrew Brown. Thank you for joining us for the Chai Tea Tai Chi web show. This evening, I have a question for you, Andrew. How do you
All right.
make how do you make your Qigong practice stick? How do you
Mm.
how do you make it stick? Like, what does this mean exactly, and what are the practical steps to take?
All right. Well, thank you for asking that wonderful question. So I just did a recent speech about habits and starting habits and discouraging bad habits and encouraging good habits and how the habits work. So one of the normal processes of a habit is the basic routine: cue, routine, reward. Now, if you want to establish the habit, you want to make sure you're doing it right. So the first thing I want to recommend everyone does is make sure you're with a good qualified teacher and have regular meetings. So either personal coach, private coach, group class, online class, whatever you have to do to get your education, make sure it's regular and you're always improving and learning a little bit more, if not daily, weekly. Second thing, all right. So besides having a good coach, second thing, Dane, what was that we talked about just a few minutes ago?
How to make your qigong practice stick?
Yes. I had a second reason.
You
uh,
mean,
yeah.
well, it's so the of course, uh, uh, what we were talking about earlier was you have the good teacher and then you have the good student.
Yes. Yes. So we have to be our own teacher in many ways. So we've had a few guests come on and talk about their path to becoming a teacher and their path to becoming master. And it's a lot about once you've learned enough, you have to stick to your own practice and you have to study the material yourself. You have to be interested in this subject and you have to go read about the history and read about the different schools and the different theories and why you do this move and why it's important to do this move and how it affects your body. These are really key ingredients into understanding Qigong, not just doing Qigong, because we can all learn a basic pattern like choreography, like a dance, and just copy. But if we don't have that intention, we don't have that knowledge of why this is going on and what it's doing for you, eventually, if you ever get good enough, you'll just be, someone teaching people how to dance, not really teaching them the philosophy or the ideology of what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's the having a good teacher is part of the equation, but of course you've also got to be a good student in order for
Mm-hmm.
uh, for for it to really for it to really take root.
Yeah, yeah. You have to have a passion for it. You have to study it and care about it. If you don't, just like every single thing you ever do in your life, you might pick up baseball or basketball when you're young, but if you don't like dive into it and love it for years and years and really develop the practice and the care for your doing better at it, you're not going to become even a high school star because you never put in the time. And it's all about time on mat. We talk about that a lot in martial arts. How much effort you put in at the gym, well, it should be at least 3 to 9 times that effort on your own time at your own pace. That's how you develop your own style. That's how you develop your own ability, because your teacher can only be with you for a very short amount of time. And the third most important thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to establishing this practice is, besides studying yourself and having a good teacher that can guide you, is to have the diligent practice on your own. Like I was just saying, 3 to 9 times, whatever time you spend with your teacher. So make a plan for every day, twice, once in the morning, maybe once at night, and then if you miss one, you still got the other. Because you always want to get at least one practice session in every day just to get that incremental step. I took another step today. I made another effort and I tried a little bit more. And that's how you get better at everything.
Yeah, so it's about having a good teacher, meaning regular meetings with a good teacher, and once a week is kind of a good uh, minimum baseline benchmark in order to be having consistent feedback and progress and encouragement, and especially when you're new. The newer you are, the more true this is. And then and of course, if you can meet and practice with a group more than once a week, so much the better. Um, uh, but uh, uh, but apart from that, there's also the aspect of being a good student and actively studying this as a discipline, and not in the sense that it has to be hard, but in the sense that Qigong in particular is multidimensional. It's body, breath, mind, spirit, energy. All of these different these different levels and layers to it, and uh, so it's an inherently mindful practice, and mindfulness and diligence and dedication has to be uh, is part of what you invest in order to reap the rewards. And then um, no and then having and that specifically entails having your own personal daily practice, which if you however often you're able to meet with a teacher or go to a group class or something of that nature, um, your personal they are mutually reinforcing, but your personal daily practice is super important. It's what I think of as a form of energetic hygiene, as in like kind of a minimum thing to do, um, and uh, every day, or at least almost every day, once or twice even, is great. Um, just as a personal routine, as a personal uh, as a personal ritual, and just having that built in to your life, as a minimum baseline.
Yeah. So as a personal ritual, I love how you said that, because a lot of meditation has to do, like I was saying, cue, routine, reward. If you can cue yourself to jump into a habit by setting up a location, setting a time, uh, knowing how you want to feel when you do this habit, instead of just randomly I have 15 minutes, I'm going to sit down and meditate right now. So it sometimes takes people a little more preparation to just be able to do that. So I always love, if you're going to do sitting meditation or a very small amount of movement, just do it in your bedroom or on your backyard. But if you're going to be doing more like Tai Chi or Kung Fu kind of meditation where you need a little more space, maybe your backyard, but a park or out in the open somewhere. Usually you don't want people staring at you. I mean, some people get very self-conscious when they're doing these kind of practices, and if people are staring at them the whole time, they won't appreciate it as much as if they were solitary, like on the top of a mountain, just doing whatever practice they want. That's always the ideal, in the cave or on the mountain. No one bothers you. But find a place that is good for you, a location that you can perform fully in, and you're not worried about your safety, you're not worried about the temperature. Those kind of things can really pull you out of a meditation.
Yeah, that's what I call the concept of a dedicated space as a form of environmental support for establishing a habit or habit, routine, ritual. They all kind of mean the same thing. I like to think of ritual because there's like an intentionality to it. There's an intention that you set, but having that dedicated space and other forms of environmental support, like you said, the designated time, whatever reminders or things you might need to set up for yourself to anchor in the habit until it becomes second nature and automatic. And there's something else that I can add from my own experience, which is the internal necessity is the foundation. It's got to be something that you want to do, and just there's a process you go through. At first, you don't know anything, so you can't really practice on your own at all because you don't know what to do. So you have to learn from teachers and learn what to do, and you the more you learn from the more different teachers, the more you become able to integrate different perspectives, and the more you become able to develop your own practice as you develop to internalize it, to make it your own, to
Yeah.
develop your own form of it so that it fits and feels natural for you and it works for you. And there comes a point where it becomes a sort of a self-sustaining practice, and you no longer need teachers, or you no longer need a particular teacher in order to keep you on the path. You're on the path, and you're able to learn and benefit from the guidance of teachers, but the practice is coming from you. It's something that you do for yourself, for your own reasons, and that's the place where it becomes self-sustaining and just something you do. And that's a place that, of course, we're dedicated to helping people get to. So speaking of that, what can people do if they would like to learn more about these things or get involved in a community
All right.
that's practicing these kinds of things?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Dane. So we have a support system built into Facebook called the 7-Day Qigong Non-Challenge. And so that's to help you get started with Qigong. Just 1 week of consistency is all we're asking. And if you can do that, then you might be able to just take off and run. You don't really need us once you understand the real basic stuff. But you know what? We have a whole 90 days of material for you, just if you want to keep going. So highly recommend getting started. Just 1 week of a little bit of commitment, 15 to 20 minutes a day set aside to just go through 7 days of practice. It's totally worth it. It might change your life. Just give it a try. But if you're lucky, you're in San Diego, you can come down to our meetup classes and meet me in person. And soon Dane will be back here and we'll be co-teaching a lot. And we also have our online Facebook group, which you can always message us and ask us any questions you like. And we'll have an Ask Me Anything about your Qigong skills, about your whatever questions you have, and we'll try to answer them live for you. So soon.
Yeah, awesome, totally. You can join our group here. You can join us, join our meetup group if you're in San Diego, and our intention is for more people to have access to and use these tools, these ancient flow state practices and mind body tools to take greater strides in their life, to expand in their sphere of responsibility, their sphere of capacity, to move from illness to wellness and from wellness to flourishing. So I appreciate that you're doing everything you're doing, Andrew, and thanks everybody for watching. Join the 7-Day Qigong Non-Challenge on Facebook if you want to get just a taste of this and see what it's like. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right. Good chatting with you, Dane. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Bye.
All right. Live long and prosper.